What's up, BookTube? It's Monty, and today I'm here to do my 2020 reading resolutions. It just feels a little crazy that 2019 is like literally over. It doesn't feel like I should be sitting down to film this video quite yet, but here we are. Here we are. So I don't have that many resolutions, if I'm being like completely transparent here. I'm not a goal-oriented person. I've never really done the whole bullet journal planner, think ahead in life. Like, it's not the most intelligent thing, but it's just not something that I do. And so let me open up my Google Doc. And I think there's like 4 things on this list. Yes, there are definitely 4, not like there's just 4 goals. And the first goal is to reset my Goodreads reading challenge goal to just 1 book. In 2019, I set the challenge to read 52 books. The idea was that was 1 book a week, and 52 books would be like 20 books more than the highest number on my Goodreads shelf so far. And I hit it. I hit 52, I want to say, in like September, maybe it was August. It was well before December, and so I was really happy with that. And as of filming today, I want to say there was like 85 books read. There might be 87, but I think 85 is pretty safe. And I'm on track, I think, where 100 books is doable. By the time you're watching this, you will have already seen my December de facto TBR, and my 'Tis the Season-a-thon TBR, and those 2 combined aren't enough to push me to 100 books, but I do think that, like, it's a number that could realistically happen if I pushed myself. I'm just not going to, probably. And I want to reset it back to 1, and in doing so, I feel like I need to discuss my, like, reader journey, which I don't think I really have a standalone video about, but I've talked about it in piecemeal over the years. And the other day I was sitting and I was thinking, and I really don't think that my love of reading is like a lot of people's love of reading on BookTube. So I wanted to talk about that for a little bit. So we're gonna kind of like detour. And so when I was a kid, for like the weekdays, so Monday to Friday, I guess really technically Monday to Thursday, I was not allowed to use the television in my room. I had to like focus on doing my homework and things. And so the only entertainment that was available, if I didn't want to sit in the living room and watch like football with my dad or whatever, was to read books. And I already had to read books because I want to say like every teacher I had from like 4th grade on assigned reading as like homework. Like you had to read for like 20 minutes at home, write a summary of what you read, have your parent sign it, turn it in, kind of a thing. And so reading was always an assignment, and I always had to do it. And it wasn't like I hated it, but it was like I had to do it. Then in the 4th grade, I was not technically reading at reading level. I was one of those statistics. Thank you, car, for driving past as I said that. Hopefully we didn't hear that. The car, obviously you heard me talking about it, but 4th grade Monty was not a great reader, because before 4th grade I wasn't really like a big reader. I was just like whatever. But in the 4th grade, when I was not at reading level and I was in like the stupid kid reading group, I mean, they don't call it that, but like and so when I was in the stupid kid reading group, I was like, I don't like this. I do not want to be in the stupid kid reading group. And so I fixed it, and when I left elementary school, I was not in the stupid kid reading group. They had to make a separate reading group just for Monty and friends. So it was like, I won't say I was forced to read, but it wasn't like a hobby that I was like just intrinsically drawn to. Like, it wasn't something that I was like inspired to pick up. And then like in 6th grade, the AR testing was what made me a real reader, if we're being honest here. Because if I got 100 points and my teacher would give me a little pizza at lunch instead of having to go to the cafeteria, you can bet your ass I'm gonna read those books and get the 100 points. I want that pizza. Like, reading for me has always been like an incentivized thing, and so that's why I'm always on Twitter like, did I touch a book today? No, I did not. And I want to continue. That's the other goal on this list, is to continue to embrace non-bookish hobbies. I don't want to say that like BookTube like shames you for having like non-bookish interests, because I don't think that they shame you, but like if you aren't actively reading, then you have nothing to talk about, and so all you can come on here and do is like a tag video or a discussion. But like I feel like if you aren't actively reading, then you're not actively motivated to make content. And I don't want to say that like I don't want to post consistently in 2020, because I do want to post consistently in 2020, but I don't ever want I want to continue to move away from reading being this all-consuming thing to it continuing to be a hobby. I've read 80 books, let's say, and all 80 of them were because I wanted to pick them up, and I didn't force my way. I forced my way through The Secret History. I just want to continue to have reading be something that I'm actively doing as an adult because I'm actively enjoying it. So the one, I know that I'm going to read more than one book, and I would like to read another 80 next year, but I don't want to incentivize it with like a Goodreads goal. And I don't want to sit here and be like, Goodreads is the devil, and I'm in competition, and like reading is, like, I don't think that it is. I enjoy Goodreads. I watched a lot of videos at the beginning of 2018 where people were not fucking with it, and I think that they made like valid points for them, but that's not where I'm coming from. I just want to continue to embrace reading as a hobby, and only as a hobby, and I'm happy that it's connected me to a bunch of people here on YouTube, and I've made some friendships, and Penguin Teen sends me things occasionally now. Like, I'm very grateful of all of the things that have come from me actively reading and actively talking about them being the books I'm reading. But I always want this to continue be a source that I enjoy, and I'm not going to enjoy it if I'm like, I don't want to say that if I'm actively working towards a Goodreads goal, because that's a damn lie. When I was under the 52, it made me I was above the track all year long. It was never like I was behind, but I just don't, I think that even if I personally never felt like, oh, if I don't hit the goal, it's going to be the end of the world, I do think that in some ways, BookTube as like just a community, I don't want to say incentivizes like this mentality of, oh, I only read like 3 things this month, I'm terrible, or I only read 20 things this month, it's terrible. But in like a lot of ways, I think that it does. I don't think that most people in the world today, alive right now with us communicating in our day-to-day lives, sit at home and go, I only read 20 books today, I'm such a failure. And I think that's my least favorite thing about BookTube, and I really hate it, and it really, like, I don't give a fuck how fast of a reader you are. I personally know that I'm a fast reader, and I don't think that if you just saw my Goodreads, you're like, oh, bitch, you only read 85 books, you're not a fast reader. Okay, congratulations. Like, I know what I know, but I also know that I'm not going to sit here and read 20 books a month. Like, this is not ever going to be a thing that I aspire to, or that I would ever want to do realistically, because there are other things that I enjoy doing in life. There just are. And I don't prioritize my life in a way where 20 books is a realistic number. And I just want to move into a space in this community where we can celebrate reading a single book. And reading a single book, it isn't like indicative of a slump. Like, your world is ending because you read one thing this month. Like, hobbies don't have slumps. Okay? Like, this is a hobby. Yeah, I don't like the slump nature of BookTube. I don't think that reading one book, reading 5 books, taking a week to read a book is like I don't like that mindset, and I don't want my content to ever put that out in the world, I guess. I don't want someone to watch my videos and feel like, oh, I'm such a terrible person because I read X number of things, or X number of pages, or it took me X number of time to read a book. I think that I don't want my content to contribute to that. And so I'm actively going to take steps to do my best to combat that, because I think that is just something I really hate about the community. And so if I can do something just small, then I'm going to take that small step. And I'm not saying that everyone should eliminate their Goodreads challenge or that everyone should like stop saying, I am saying everyone should stop saying that they feel bad they read 15 books. Like, who are you expecting to, like, I don't want to say that these are like fishing for like pity, but like what are you like, what are you expecting to get out of that? Because you, like, these people, like, if it's something like my early videos, like the first 5 years of my channel or whatever, where I didn't edit anything, like, okay, sure, this person doesn't have their video, it's obviously going to be kept in. But it's like those apology videos from like beauty gurus where they're crying, like, oh, I don't want to cry on camera, but you consciously left it in. It's like you consciously left in the fact that you read 15 things this month. Like, I understand everyone is, they read at a different pace. Everyone has different lives that they lead. But when you, no one is feeling sorry for you that you read 15 things this month. Like, no, I'm just gonna drop it. So, Goodreads Challenge is 1. I'm going to do my best in all of my Friday Reads videos going forward next month, which is, I guess, technically another goal. I would like to be able to post 2 solid videos a week next month. I would like a regular review video on Wednesday, and I would like my Friday Reads to continue to go up every Friday. Obviously, we'll see what happens there. I'm very hesitant to like have a solidified schedule, but I think that that is one that works for me because Friday Reads videos are very easy for me to film and edit on a Thursday. I just don't know about the Wednesday videos. Those, but we're gonna try. We are going to do our best to make those happen. So stay tuned for those. I'm also getting rid of TBR videos on my channel. I say that after I posted my de facto TBR video for December, but if I do a TBR video, it'll be like the de facto one where it's just like that. I think they're just going to be labeled library hauls next year because that's what I do anyway. I just go to the library, I bring home a selection, make my shelf look like this, and then I read like 2 of them. You know what I mean? Like, and I just don't want to label them a TBR in the sense that I don't want someone coming to the video expecting me to talk about all of those things later on. And I feel like with a library haul, like, that expectation isn't there. Am I right? I don't know. But I don't ever read everything on the TBR. Like my nonfiction November TBR, I literally didn't read a single book of that. Like, not a single one. I didn't touch any of them. I tried to read a couple, and I wasn't feeling them. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not reading nonfiction this month. So I want to eliminate TBRs from my rotation, and I don't want them to be specifically labeled as a TBR because I don't want that expectation from my audience. So that's we're gonna be playing with that. We'll see what happens. Maybe with like readathon specific, like my Tis the Season-a-thon TBR, things like that might happen again. But I think I'm gonna do my best to steer clear of at least month-long TBRs, which I think will work. Because if I'm doing a Friday Reads every week, then you'll know what I'm reading, what I'm planning on reading. You know, like, I think that is something that works better because you, like, with the Friday Reads video, those are things that I'm actively already in the middle of or I'm about to pick up. And so when I do a wrap up at the end, those will be things that you'll have seen, and I feel like that it will just be something that works better for me. And so we're going to try that. And if it works out, we're going to continue with that. And I think I just have one more thing. So the only thing that I have left to discuss about my 2020 goals is for the month of November, so during NaNoWriMo, I've been watching a lot of AuthorTuber videos. Not because I personally ever want to write a novel or be in like the writing community, but I just think that as someone who talks about books, who reviews stories, I think that it's just like an interesting perspective to have. Not that I'm, you know, actively thinking critically that way when I'm reading a book, but I think that that's just an interesting perspective to have as a book reviewer, to have, you know, an authorial, not like an authorial perspective, but like, I don't know. I think they're just fun videos to watch. Also, when I was on hiatus in October, I felt that AuthorTube was a way to still kind of have bookish content in my life, but also staying away from the BookTube side of things. And during that time, I felt that there were I noticed that in the AuthorTube community, there are a lot of write-ins. Normally, I mean, I think they happen specifically during like Camp NaNoWriMo, which is, I think, is in April and June. I don't know. I don't watch these things. Like, I don't participate in them, so I don't really care when they air. And then obviously in the month of November for the actual NaNoWriMo. And I like the idea of them. I like the idea of everyone comes, you chat for a little bit, you do like a 15-minute sprint. And I kind of want to bring that idea to BookTube in a form of like a live reading sprint. So we'll be on live, we'll chat how our day is going for a little bit, we'll do a 20-minute reading sprint, we'll chat for a little bit. And I don't know how frequently they're going to be. I'm going to aim for once a month. In my head, I was like, oh, I could totally do this, once a week. But a bitch is going back to school in February, and so, like, that's not, like, I'm not even going to, like, no, it's not going to be once a week. But I think that I could handle once a month. And so I haven't scheduled, I'll always schedule them ahead of time. So they'll be on the channel, you'll be able to see them. But that's something I really want to do, because I think that it's just a cute idea. And I think that functionally they're the same. I mean, yes, there's a lot of, like, dead air time, because, I'm reading a book, you're reading a book. But if these people can, write some words and have dead space, then I think that, like, functionally it'll be the same. And so live reading sprints, I think, are going to be fun. I might try and time, like, the monthly one during the time where I know a readathon is happening. I probably won't be participating in the readathon, but I think that that might be an interesting way to host them. I know that reading sprints are a thing on, like, Twitter, and, like, readathons will host them on Twitter and be like, hey, we're going to be live, like, we'll be doing, like, a 20-minute sprint at this time to this time. And I think that's really cute, and it's, like, that, but I think that I'm going to bring them to my channel. I think this will be a great way for me to make sure that I during, the non-holiday times, I tend to read every day for at least an hour or so. But I think the once a month reading sprints will really make sure that I'm reading during that time. I might try to have them on weekends, so they're a little bit more accessible. I don't know, more to come. This isn't like a fully grounded idea. I just think that it's going to be something that I want to try out, and hopefully that it works. And I would like to see that become the new thing. I don't have anything else for this video. It's already going to be long enough for me to edit. So I'm going to try and I'm not going to try. I'm going to end this here. I would love to hear all of your goals for the coming year down in the comment section below. I don't have any subscriber goals because honestly, like, all I can do is continue to put out videos that I'm proud of. And that's what I'm going to be doing in 2020. So I don't have any, like, channel specific goals in that area. I'm already very happy with the growth that I have had this year, and I just hope that continues next year. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video whenever that happens to be. But until then, bye.